if it's in an HOA, even if the HOA has absolutely no rules around short-term rentals, one thing about HOAs is, depending on the HOA, they can almost change their rules anytime they want. They can add new rules, they can all vote on it, they can decide that they don't want to do short-term rentals anymore, and guess what? But the HOA, if they decide to restrict it a year down the line, 2 years down the line, well, that just means now you're kind of out of business in a sense. So that's another thing to keep in mind, is if you're going to do it in a big corporate apartment building, the apartment building can change the rules. But what I have noticed is maybe with HOA or with buildings, if they change their rules, if you have an existing lease, a current standing lease, you should be able to carry out that lease until it's over. And once the renewal comes, then you have to make that decision. Do I want to continue to, do I want to continue to Airbnb this and just break the rules? Or am I going to have to leave? So anytime that the rules have been changed on us, we just carry out the lease until our renewal date, and then because we know we're not going to be able to Airbnb based on the changed rules, we'll just leave. So if the HOA rules change, if the building rules change, just keep that in mind. If the HOA and the building rules change, you're kind of at the mercy of that agreement from what I've seen. Same thing is if you're talking to an owner, let's say you find a property in New York City, and they're like, oh, come on in, you can Airbnb all day long, no problem, just give me my rent, you can Airbnb, you can do your arbitrage business. Then the owner might say yes, but next thing you know, the city is knocking at your door and giving you fines left and right because you're running an Airbnb in their city. Even if the owner says yes, what is almost always going to supersede that is the city, HOA, building rules. So just keep that in mind. So I should already be giving you a very, very good idea on what to look out for when it comes to short-term rental rules and regulations. So the last thing you would want to do is if you already have to potentially deal with the city or the HOA or a building, make sure that you get the landlord's approval. If you don't get the landlord's approval, I don't recommend doing that deal because it's only a matter of time. So the best thing that you can do is do things the right way. Is do things professionally, make sure that you're honest, make sure that you're transparent about what you're going to be doing on Airbnb arbitrage and corporate leases. So if you get a no from somebody and you're like, oh, this property looks so good, but they said no, there's a ton of other properties out there that can produce the exact same result, maybe in the same neighborhood, and maybe even a better property that can produce more income. Because you don't want to have to be looking over your shoulder every single week, every single day, checking for fines, checking if they're going to try to evict you for breaking their rules, their lease agreement rules, whatever the case may be. You want to avoid that, right? Don't just take the landlord's word for it.